Hey everyone, welcome to Nimstut, the tutorial show where we teach you how to build something awesome in Minecraft. My name is Nims and I run them there here tutorials, and today we're going to be looking at a mob crusher. Now, when 1.8 was first being developed, there was a change that was planned that caused iron golems to no longer drop iron unless they were directly killed by a player. Now this caused anyone that had any interest in iron golem farms to freak out. Well, I quickly started working on a way of making it so the player could easily kill iron golems, and the simple solution was a crusher. Now, there were no good crushers for iron golems, because if you were to make a repeater chain long enough to crush them down to 1 health, that would be a gigantic repeater chain. Well, in the development of this crusher, I also found out that you could use this crusher that I developed for the iron golem farm. I'm being a little bit redundant here, but essentially, you could use the same crusher for iron golems for every other single mob in the game, which also eliminated the need to know, like, oh, I'm building a blaze farm, I have to have this crusher, I'm building this mob, I need to have that crusher. No more, that's no longer needed. I have a one-size-fits-all crusher ready to go here. So you can see I've got every single mob in the game, well, most every mob in the game spawned right here. So we're going to go ahead and begin the crushing process on all of these, just to make a point. The villagers, snowman, cows, sheep. Then I've even got a little bitty silverfish in here who seems to have despawned. So let's go ahead and spawn another one and crush him too. Oh, you know who I should have started with? I probably should have started with the iron golem. But that's alright. We'll go ahead and get him started, and then we've also got the wither skeleton. Now, coming back through here, all of these mobs, with the exception of the zombie and the zombie pigmen, will be at 1 health. Zombies and zombie pigmen, kind of sadly, you can only take them within 2 hits of death. So you're probably going to need like a splash potion of healing in order to finish them off. But you can see here, all these mobs, if I could punch it, are going to be dying in just 1 hit. Even the villager, even a snowman, who are weak as is. But that's just kind of to show off how precise you can make this machine. And with any new mob that gets added to the game, you can also easily dial this in for anything. So let's go ahead and boop. Awesome. And then last but not least, the iron golem, a badoop. Fan-freaking-tastic. Now that you're thoroughly impressed with this device, it can crush 1 tall mobs, as we saw with the silverfish, 2 tall mobs, which we saw with a lot of stuff, and 3 tall mobs, which we saw with the wither and the iron golem. Let's go ahead and get started on the build. Alright, and now we're ready to begin our build. The first thing that you're going to want to look at is the blocks that are required for this build. I've got them all in my inventory below, as well as needing a button, which I've got set off to the side. The next thing that you're going to need to know is what mob you plan on crushing. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be crushing a skeleton, since the likelihood is most of you are going to be crushing 2 tall mobs. But if you do plan on crushing a 1 tall or a 3 tall mob, such as a silverfish or an iron golem, it's pretty much the same thing. You just move the crusher 1 block up or 1 block down. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with our skeleton crusher, which is a 2 tall mob. So we're going to be placing a junk block here, then a sticky piston like that. And now this is going to be building the side of our room. So very, very cool. Then we need a block there. We're going to use glass so that way we can see inside and watch him as he dies. Now I'm going to be adding a roof onto this so that way our skeleton doesn't burn whenever we spawn him inside. But you probably are going to feed your mobs in from the top here. So now that we've got this little crusher room filled out, we're going to be placing a block here on the side. Then I'm going to grab that button and place it there. Then on the back of this block, we're going to be placing a redstone torch. Then 3 blocks out with 2 pieces of redstone. Then 5 blocks out from that. I think that was 5. Then we need to place a sticky piston facing inwards, a redstone block, a second sticky piston facing back towards that first one, with a piece of redstone dust behind it. Then we're going to fill in this just a little bit. Then we need a solid block here with a redstone comparator facing into it, 2 hoppers facing into each other, and I'm able to place these by holding shift, and you can confirm that you did it right whenever your hoppers' tails are facing into each other. Then you need a redstone comparator facing into a solid block right there. Very cool. Now, because I'm building a skeleton, there is a little bit more of a precise measurement that I need to make. So I'm going to place 4 blocks down in a little L shape like so. I need a second redstone comparator into a solid block, into a redstone repeater, into another solid block. Cool. Now, the thing that you need to know is your timing. So this is the basic mechanism behind all crushers, all versions of this crusher, I should say. From this point, this hasn't been decided yet. This could crush any mob. So we need to now tune it in for a skeleton. So a skeleton requires 12 blocks here plus 1 tick on this repeater. So I'm going to be including in the description a list of every single mob in the game that can be crushed by this crusher. And then I'll include the timings next to this mob. And the thing that you need to know about the timings is what they mean. So this is a 12 plus 1. So there's 12 blocks inside this item hopper with 1 tick on this repeater. Now, for example, I'm just playing devil's advocate here and giving you another thing that you need to look at. If you were to be crushing an iron golem, you would have 62 blocks in the hopper with a 2-tick repeater. So this one would be a 62 plus 2, whereas the skeleton that we're crushing in this example is a 12, which you can see here, plus 1. Very, very cool. So now this thing is ready to go. It was a super easy build, right? We're going to be dropping a skeleton in there. We're going to press our button. Our skeleton's going to start to take some damage. This is going to go pretty quick. Get 1 block lower. I can punch him a bit easier. Cool. Then I just punch our skeleton. He had 1 health. He immediately drops his experience. He would drop his bows, his bones, his arrows, his rare drops, everything, because he was technically killed by the player. So this thing is super duper easy to build. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my inventory here. Super easy to build. It's super easy to dial in on any mob. You just add your items to this second hopper, tune in this repeater, and then it's ready to go. So that's going to be it for this tutorial. Again, refer to the description of this video depending on what mob you want to crush. This works with anything, and it should work with any new mobs that are added to the game in the future. The only exception are if the mob can teleport or if it can heal itself. So Endermen are no good because they can just teleport away, and witches are no good because their health is a variable amount because they'll just drink a healing potion at random times, so there's no way of knowing exactly how much it's going to take to crush a witch. So anyways, that's it for this tutorial. This is a super easy mob crusher that will easily handle any mob in the game. Thank you so much for watching NimsTuts, and hopefully it didn't stink. We'll see you next time.